Fellow Nigerians, consequently, the following decisions come into immediate effect. The state executive councils are dissolved. All local governments stand dissolved. The National Electoral Commission is hereby dissolved. All processions in any part of the country are hereby banned. Any consultative committee, by whatever name called, is hereby proscribed.
What if I told you that Nigeria's most feared former head of state didn't fall to a bullet, a bomb, or a coup but to something far more mysterious? In 1998, inside Aso Rock itself, General Sani Abacha was found gasping for air. By evening, he was in the ground. No autopsy. No inquiry. Just silence. They called it a heart attack. But the men inside the villa, men like his chief security officer, said the truth was forbidden. But here's the question no Nigerian has stopped asking. What really killed Abacha? Was it poison slipped after a handshake? Betrayal from his own generals? Or an international plot to clear the path for democracy? And why, even in death, did the villa bury him in secrecy? If you want to understand his end, you must first understand the rise of the Iron General who once had his fingerprints on every coup that shaped Nigeria. Welcome to Wild Narrative Chronicles, where forgotten history meets forbidden truths. Here, we dig into the shadows of Nigeria's past, power, coups, betrayal, and mystery. But before we proceed, kindly subscribe and uncover the stories they never wanted you to remember. On June 8, 1998, power in Nigeria shifted not with a coup, but with a corpse. General Sani Abacha, the most feared man in Africa at the time, died suddenly inside the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja. By evening, he was already buried, according to Islamic rites. No autopsy. No independent inquiry. Just the silence of a rushed grave. The official line. A sudden heart attack. The whispers. Poison. The rumor. That he died in the company of prostitutes. But to those who knew him best, men like his chief security officer, Major Hamza Al-Mustapha, the story was far darker and far more complex. To understand Abacha's death, you must first understand his rise. Born in Kano to a family with roots in present-day Borno State, Abacha was not destined for gentleness. He entered the Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna, commissioned in 1963 after officer cadet training in Mons, Aldershot, England. By 1966, as a young second lieutenant with the 3rd Battalion, Kaduna, Abacha was knee-deep in Nigeria's violent political experiments. He was part of the counter-coup of July 1966, a bloody episode that reshaped Nigeria's destiny. He fought in the Civil War, commanded men as battalion and platoon leader, and rose without skipping a single rank, until he became Nigeria's first full general by merit alone. Abacha had his fingerprints on every coup that mattered. In 1983 coup, he helped bring General Muhammadu Buhari to power. In 1985 coup, Abacha turned on Buhari, installing General Ibrahim Babangida instead. By the early 1990s, he was Minister of Defense, then Chief of Defense Staff. In 1993, amid the chaos following the annulled June 12 elections, the election won by MKO Abiola but strangled by the military, Abacha seized absolute power. And for 5 years, he ruled Nigeria like a clenched fist. You can watch the full video about the dark reign of Sani Abacha to know the dark and turbulent period of Nigerian history under General Sani Abacha's military dictatorship from 1993 to 1998. The video link is added in this video description. Let's continue. On June 7, 1998, cracks appeared in Aso Rock Presidential Villa. At Abuja's International Airport, Abacha received Yasser Arafat, the former Palestinian president. After a handshake, his countenance changed. His chief security officer, Major Al-Mustapha, noticed immediately. Concern spread quietly through the villa. That evening, Abacha's doctor gave him an injection to stabilize his health. By 9 p.m., he appeared restored, laughing, meeting visitors, even chatting deep into the night with his close ally, General Jeremiah Yusini, then FCT minister. They talked until nearly 3:30 a.m. But before dawn, the situation collapsed. Around 5 a.m., security rushed to Al-Mustapha's quarters. Abacha was gasping for air. By the time his physician, Dr. Woli, arrived, injections were administered directly to the heart and leg, but it was too late. The Iron General had turned cold. At just 54, the man who feared no bullet was undone by something far more insidious. Al-Mustapha describes chaos behind closed doors, service chiefs arriving, panic swirling, and opportunists already angling for power. Some whispered of installing Jeremiah Yusini as successor. Others suggested staging a fake shootout, killing members of the ruling council to mask Abacha's death in blood. Al-Mustapha refused. Instead, he quietly rallied support for General Abdul Salami Abubakar, the senior-most officer available. It was not loyalty, it was survival. But before Abacha's body grew cold, lies were already spreading. Poisoned apples. Women. Lust. Stories meant to humiliate him in death, to reduce the terror of his name into a sordid tale of vice. Al-Mustapha insists it was all a lie. That his boss had been poisoned, not seduced. But here's the deeper truth, Abacha's death was not unique. Nigeria has a history of burying its leaders in mystery. MKO Abiola, the man whose June 12 election Abacha annulled, died barely a month later in custody, July 1998. He too collapsed suddenly, reportedly after drinking tea during a meeting with US officials. Heart attack, they said. Poison, many believed. Two political titans gone in less than 40 days. Muhammadu Buhari, the disciplinarian general whom Abacha once helped bring to power, also faced years of health decline during his civilian presidency. Though he survived, his long absences fueled endless rumors of clones, death, and cover-ups. In Nigeria, illness and sudden death are never just medical, they are political. A weapon of power, a tool of silence. Did Abacha fall to poisoned hands after a handshake with Yasser Arafat's entourage? Was he betrayed by allies in his own villa? Or was his death, like Abiola's, part of a larger international arrangement, a cleansing of Nigeria's military elite to prepare the country for democracy? The truth may never be known. What we do know is this: Abacha's end was no accident of nature. In Nigeria, power doesn't just change hands. Sometimes, it buries its enemies first. In the end, the story of General Sani Abacha's death is not just about a dictator's final breath inside Aso Rock. It is about Nigeria itself, a nation where power has always come cloaked in shadows, where truth is a casualty, and where even death can be weaponized for politics. The mystery of his last hour was never about a heart attack, or poison, or women, but about how fragile absolute power truly is when the walls close in. So, what do you think? Was Abacha poisoned by foreign agents? Betrayed by his own generals? Or was his death the price of holding Nigeria hostage for too long? Think about it, a man who controlled billions, military, and bent a nation to his will, yet, when death came, he was buried in less than 24 hours, denied even the dignity of an inquiry. If Nigeria could erase his final chapter so quickly, how many other truths have been buried under the same red earth? So here is the haunting lesson: from Abacha to Abiola, from whispers of coups to rumors of poison, we are left with silence and unanswered questions. And maybe that is the true forbidden story of Aso Rock, not just how Abacha died, or how Buhari died, but how Nigeria itself keeps killing the truth. Keeping this kind of information from the public actually tell others what we are a nation. And perhaps the lesson is not how Abacha died, but why, even today, we are forbidden from knowing. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more informative videos like this to learn from the past untold history.